Okay.
Oh, man.
So you're doing the intro. Which part do you read again?
I read the good part, and you read the... Shucks. Dang it. All right.
So you go first. Yeah.
Hey, guys. Welcome to the Dad Choose podcast, the dad group you don't have to go to.
Today we are not talking about stupid iPhones. Did you put that in the notes?
I love that you said it that way. I just put that there because I was going to say we're not talking about stupid iPhones because you and I are both Android users.
Yes.
And I know like half of our listeners just turned this off.
I did turn to the dark side for a little bit for work purposes. I couldn't get my voicemail, but that's... I didn't go to Verizon to switch my phone. I just took the SIM card out of this Android and put it into an iPhone.
Oh, I wonder if that's why.
And I couldn't get my voicemails. And then when I went back to the Android, they were all there after I put the SIM card back in.
That's interesting.
Yes, but we're not going to talk about stupid iPhones and how they definitely don't use them to film Hollywood movies.
They definitely don't make Hollywood movies on a stupid iPhone 13. I mean, come on. Listen, when they were talking about their cool cameras and, oh, look at this, I can make a movie on it. Yeah, I went to an arts high school, right? We had kids that made movies. We made, well... not quite professional quality, but we made movies, and some of them were sold to other schools. They were educational movies. But anyways, they could have shot that on an iPhone, and it would have been great quality. Yeah. But you're not watching Endgame filmed on an iPhone. Come on.
No. Even like little indie projects, a good quality like real camera isn't that much more expensive than an iPhone 13.
Right. I mean,
anyway,
and you can get
what I was going to say before I saw what the note said is that we are going to talk about some of the best dad advice that you've ever gotten. But before we get to that, I do want to take a moment to...
Connor, I think I'm sorry to be this guy, but I need to correct your grammar.
Uh-oh.
We're going to talk about the best DADvice.
DADvice, right.
Okay. All right, we're there now. All right.
Yep, I'm having an off weekend, so.
It's all good, man. It's all good. And we are recording this on a Sunday during football.
Yeah, so I've got a couple streams open.
Yeah. So we're competing with the Packers, and I mean, people would probably rather watch us than the Dolphins, but
we're
against Tampa.
Right
We're beating Tampa. Oh, we need to win this game. This would be so great.
Yeah. The Florida Bowl. I think I saw a stat earlier, though, that we haven't beat Tampa in Tampa since like the 80s.
That's because the Bucks weren't around in the
80s. Okay. But we will not give any other further updates on the game as to not break any contracts with the NFL.
Yeah, right. We can't even give descriptions of it.
Yeah, you have to watch for yourself.
Yeah. Jeez. And I pay for it, so don't come at me, NFL.
Yeah. I am currently paying for the football that I'm currently watching.
Right.
Jeez. That's all I'm willing to say right now. But I did want to talk about some Hollywood. I don't know if you've watched the What If series on Disney Plus. I should move my
I've seen a couple
here,
of them.
So.
We actually started watching it on, like when we're getting dinner ready. If we're late getting dinner ready or right after dinner, I started putting it on just as something on the background. So yeah,
they were interesting. I sat down and watched them. It was one of those things where my wife and I have a rule where we don't wait. Like we just don't wait for each other anymore if it's something we really want to watch. Unless we know we'll watch it together. Like Ted Lasso, we know we're going to watch together. Like we will put other plans aside to watch Ted Lasso when it comes out. But like, what if some of those episodes were kind of creepy? The only time we have is like right before bed, and Marcy wasn't really into that. So I said, I'm just going to watch it. Now, from what I've read, What If is considered MCU canon. Like, it is canon. But here's the thing, right? They're all different what if scenarios. They're all different what if scenarios. Right? Like alternate universes. The multiverse has just been introduced. But here's the thing.
Has it, though? It hasn't quite been introduced yet.
Well, I think if you've seen Loki, you know, that was the theoretical beginning of the multiverse because of all the different timeline splits. But a lot of the scenarios in What If take place before Loki happened.
Okay.
Right? Before that
right.
one event, whatever it may be. Some people think it's when Scarlet Witch fully became
Scarlet Witch, right.
But that happened way after all these other events. So here's what I think. And listeners, you're welcome to correct me at Twitter, at DADshoesPod.
Yes, please do.
Because to me, this can't either, it's not canon, or every different universe has a different timeline. Because you see, based on the rules we learned from Loki, the TVA did not get involved in any of these situations. Right?
So you're saying that because the one I keep going back to, and I've seen a few of them, but the one I keep thinking about is Agent Carter.
Sure.
So you're saying that if the rules applied in every universe in the multiverse, that the TVA would have stepped in before What's-His-Face was killed and Agent Carter became Captain UK?
Yeah, so the decision, I think, in that one is she decided to go down to the lower level instead of staying up like she did in the movie. So the second she does that, wouldn't that make her a variant?
A variant, right. But
So
you're saying that the different timeline doesn't make up the different universe in the multiverse. There are different universes in the multiverse, and this universe, the one where Loki takes place, is the one where the TVA exists.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. I mean, in the other universes could have a TVA, but then we have to accept that the way things played out in those episodes are the way it was supposed to go. Because the TVA, right?
But that assumes that the TVA exists in those universes. Or that universe.
Yes. But
okay.
I feel like because the TVA is outside of time, then they would exist in those multiple instances because they would go into places where people made the wrong choice. People made a different choice than what was quote unquote supposed to happen in time. Either the What If series can't be canon, or the events that happened in Loki did not create the multiverse. The multiverse already existed, and each universe has its own timeline. Because the multiverse had to already exist. Yeah, and maybe we'll find out more with Spider-Man No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness.
What are you at?
I'm at 12:08.
I've lost 4 minutes of conversation.
Sugar. Well, I say we
it's
move on.
Here.
Yeah, we move on, and we'll see what's there.
Oh my goodness. Listen, YouTube, if you're watching, this is going to be the best one, the best version of this. That pizza looks really good.
What pizza?
All right. On the Packers stream commercial. Hey, Connor, do you watch wrestling?
I don't, but you know,
Did you
it's
ever?
getting. I never did.
No?
I thought about it when I was in elementary school. Like when I was in elementary school, I think is the last time wrestling was cool, and it was right around the time when it was like, is it real or is it fake?
Right.
And so, 2021, I think this is the best part about it. We know it's all fake now, but we embrace it,
Listen, that's like when I was in elementary school, and into middle school, my friends loved wrestling. And so I was into it, and I liked it too, and it was fun. My aunt took me to some matches. It was cool and loud, and but now we know it's fake.
But I think we embrace it for that now.
I like, yeah, like when it first came out in like the 90s, early 2000s, that it was this is actually fake. And it's not fake in that there's no skill involved. Like,
sure,
it's real. Those guys actually can get hurt doing that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But it's planned.
Yeah.
So like it's a story, and then it's almost like improv where we know the ending. You just have to improvise your way to that ending. And and they're communicating, and they've got like signals that they give each other. And so it's really cool. And you've got to trust the people you're going into the ring with. But I just couldn't care less.
No.
No, I couldn't care less. I just don't care. I don't know how else to say it. I just don't care.
I think most recently, what made me start thinking about wrestling again is John Oliver, because he did an episode about wrestling. And the whole premise, I think, of that episode was like that the wrestlers should unionize, like they should be allowed to unionize, and I guess they haven't for whatever reason. I don't keep up to date, so maybe this is
vaguely
old
remember
news.
it, but I cannot. It was like it was a pandemic show or just before.
Maybe.
I don't
But
remember.
the whole point
I
was like
remember that he did
they
it.
do put their bodies at risk, and they don't get paid very well.
No,
So-
unless you become like The Rock or
John
like
Cena.
John Cena, those guys get a ton of money. And did you ever see The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke?
No, I did not.
It's really a sad movie. It's a great movie, but it's really sad. Got Marissa Tomei in it. Great acting. But yeah, I mean, it's similar to football players. After your career's over, it's your body's beat up.
Yeah.
So that's what makes Tom Brady such a.
Say it.
Well, he's not a miracle boy.
No, but he
He's
works
not a miracle.
hard.
He
His
works
life
hard,
is football.
and yeah, and you know what? He is good, and I would never deny it. But he, it's amazing that his body isn't broken down. There's going to be quarterbacks they have a much longer lifespan in the NFL, anyways.
Yeah,
but
in
still.
general. But I mean, he's kind of, I think.
But that's not what we wanted to talk about tonight.
Was it?
The bodies of professional athletes. That is not what we wanted to talk about.
No,
I just saw something about. We wanted to talk about entertainment, so we talked about what if. And if you're listening to the podcast, you're not going to hear any of it because I think my recording cut out. So
We'll see what we can dig up.
we'll see what we can do. So, but we did talk about, I figured the wrestling was it's something that grown men are into.
Oh no!
So, yeah, I saw it. But we're not talking about it.
But we can't
shut
tell
up.
you. So
So, so yeah, so we're into football as entertainment, and then I saw this commercial for WWE because last time I watched professional wrestling, it was still called WWF. So, but anyways, I figured I'd ask about your thoughts on that. And,
it's interesting. It's interesting to me. I know some people who are wrestling fans. It's kind of like when the Jacksonville Suns, the minor league baseball team, became the Jumbo Shrimp. It's kind of like
Right.
when the owners realized, like, hey, nobody takes this seriously, so let's just have fun with it, and their ticket sales skyrocketed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, once they're like, yeah, we're not going to try to be like super serious anymore. We're gonna play like this is still professional baseball. They are still a feeder team to some major league team.
Somebody.
But it's like, hey, let's have some fun with it. I mean, this is minor league baseball. The stakes are not very high.
Right. I mean, that's kind of
where wrestling is now.
Yeah, and it should be. It's like, listen, have fun with this. And professional football, there's way too much money in my opinion, and people get to. Tyler and Ethan were talking about it a couple weeks ago on the Spider-Man 2002 episode on Bacon and Eggs, and they were talking about getting into sports and having some good ribbon and just trash talking each other, but being able to go out and get a beer afterward. And that's like, they didn't say it quite like that, but like that's the way it should be. Like our buddy Tony's a Patriots fan, and we aren't Patriots fans, so we used to give him crap for it. He didn't quite get it, unfortunately.
No, but he was a Patriots fan in the Tom Brady era, so.
Yeah, and we were Dolphins fans, and the Dolphins haven't won a Super Bowl in haven't been to the Super Bowl 70s. In 20 years.
Yeah.
So, but anyways.
Either way, let's talk about some DADvice.
So some DADvice. What's the best piece of DADvice you've ever received?
Do you want me to go first? I was going to ask you.
I want
Are you ready?
To go first.
You want me to go first? So
I am not ready. That's why I want you to go first.
Okay. So this is going to be so 2021 pandemic era of me, but the best DADvice that I think I have received came from TikTok.
Oh, yeah?
And it was kind of like, a TikTok of an interview talking about this DADvice that this guy got from somewhere else. So it's like, I'm the fourth degree of DADvice on this particular
separation.
This particular sentiment. And the guy was talking about the best advice he'd actually gotten was from Jack Black, which of course piques my interest. I love Jack Black.
Yep.
And
that is right up your alley.
That is my guy. And the advice was, put simply, don't try to make a happy kid happier.
Okay.
And there's a whole story, as Jack Black explains it. And I know you can find the TikTok. I don't know if you can find Jack Black talking about this, but
right.
the premise of it really is, one day he saw his son sitting playing in the mud, and just the kid was having a great time. And so Jack Black was like, you know what? Not my kid. My kid's not going to be that kid that plays in the mud. So takes him, get some candy, get some toys, gets them all sugared up. But for what?
Right.
For what? Like,
so he's not playing in the mud?
Why can't you just have fun with your kid? Like he said he felt in reflection afterwards, it was just a missed opportunity where he could have just sat in the mud with his kid and had fun. Like, don't try to make a happy kid happier. It's not like you're making some kind of
it's not like you're
memories.
gonna get a higher return on your investment.
Sure, if you want to put it like that.
Right. If you're getting your money back out of it, then you could get more. But the happy kid, he's already happy.
He's already happy. Just be happy with your kid.
That's actually really great. I know we talked about this last night, but then I went to bed and woke up and have been doing other things all day. And I actually don't know offhand the best piece of DADvice I've ever got.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I only picked it. I looked at our list of suggestions because I saw that TikTok recently. So I was like, I haven't answered this question, so we're doing this one as our episode.
Hey, that's fine, man. Because, listen, one of the reasons we do this show is so we can talk about being dads. And, what kind of DADvice can we give each other? But, excuse me. If you out there have any DADvice to give, or momvice, or, any kind of advice to give, then, let us know. We want to know what you've got, because we want to share it with everybody else. And I don't know, but that's a pretty good, like, that covers a lot of bases. Don't make a happy kid happy. Don't try to make a happy kid happy. They're already happy. So it doesn't matter really what it is.
Yeah.
Now you could go with, the the upset kid. You could try to make them happy, but then you're probably not. So, like, don't try to make your kids happy. Just enjoy them when they are happy, and I don't know what you do when they're not happy. Just kind of
do what you can.
Yeah,
just kind of deal with it. Yeah, but yeah, don't make a happy kid happier. Just enjoy that moment. Take that moment to be happy with your kid. So, what if you were just going to give somebody some DADvice, like off the cuff? Like, hey man, I'm having a kid in December. What do you got?
One thing that I am not really good at is taking pictures. I've always been somebody who kind of lives in the moment. And if the moment lasts long enough and I can get a picture, or I'm ready for it, ready to get a picture, I'll get a picture of it or a video. But I'm really bad at doing that. And I think my advice would be to somebody to, take more of those. Take more pictures if you can, but don't forget to live in the moment. Because that's where the key comes in. Like, if you're taking a bunch of pictures and you can, like, look back and remember, which is great, but you've forgotten how it was when you were there. You were taking a picture. So if you're, excuse me, if you're just living in the moment, then great. You'll have these memories forever, but memories fade, and even over a few years. So if you can get more pictures and more videos, it's just, every time I get to look back at the pictures of my kids when they were really little, I mean, my oldest is only 3.5, so they're not old. But when they were really little, and I can look back, oh my God, I completely forgot she used to do that. Or, wow, this is what she used to look like. And it just, I don't know, it's good memories, man.
It is. And you know what you can take those pictures on?
An Android
Phone.
Samsung.
Your Samsung phone. You know what, Google? I appreciate you. I appreciate you storing all my pictures. You know, you give me a lot of free storage. Do me a favor, quit looking at them, okay?
What?
Every once in a while, I get one of those notifications like, "Oh, we put together a collage for you." Okay, look, I'll look at my own pictures. That's a little creepy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're doing good work, but
we use that family app, the Mitten, I think it's called, or maybe it's just called Family App now.
Yeah,
one of the two. Anyways, every month they take the pictures that you posted up there, and they make a video of them. And it's like, hey, you want to buy a CD? It's like, no, I don't want to buy a CD of the pictures.
Yeah, well, and I guess in that way, I understand they're doing marketing. They want you. They're giving you a free service so that they can try and sell you something.
Of course.
But at the same time, it's like, hey, just don't look at my pictures.
Well, they're just taking the pictures I posted and putting music behind them. It's, I don't know. But Google's kind of creepy. They actually, they'll go through and say, look, this is a video collage or picture collage of this person. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. There's a certain amount, of privacy freedom you give up in the current age. But let's chill. Let's chill on that.
But man, you had another thing in here that I'm really curious about.
Oh yeah, in our notes.
Yeah, and what is Vivo?
Oh my gosh. I can't say it right now because my kid's in the room, and if I say it, he's going to want to watch it. But that movie, it's a Netflix movie. There's Netflix movies, the animated musicals. I don't know what to call them. I don't want to call them kids movies because I don't think they're just kids movies. The animated movie musicals on Netflix are being slept on.
I didn't know about them.
Yeah, and we've only watched a few of them. But my mom came home one day and was like, hey, you guys need to watch this one. It's called Over the Moon. I heard about it on the news or something. It's a really great movie. So we were like, all right, we'll put it on. My kids loved that movie. And you know what? If you ask me, I like the music in those better than recent Disney movies.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look those up. Watch it.
I would take
today.
as a parent who has to for a while it was Over the Moon every day, the entire album every day.
Wow.
But I would take those songs over like the Frozen album.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, I mean, that's good. Frozen was had some good music. So that's, I mean, it's saying something, but.
Oh yeah. And so this one that you mentioned with the V, it was, I don't know if it's written by
Vivo for everybody watching and listening. Vivo, Vivo.
Yes. I don't know if it was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, but he's in the project. I think he did the music. You can tell listening to it, you know.
Okay.
A little bit of Hamilton in there, you know, when you listen to it. You can hear the similarities. But he did the music for that one. And he voices a Kinkajou. And you know what else about these movies? They're so sad.
Okay.
They're so sad. I get so emotionally attached to these movies. And this is a whole other thing. But watching some of these kids' movies and it's like somebody dies and my kids are just like, oh, he's sad. You know, and your kids just don't have the capacity to process what really happened. I'm like,
to care.
Like, no kidding, he's sad. Like, that guy just died.
Right.
But your kids just don't have the emotional range to encompass that. And it's like, what are we desensitizing our children to?
Oh, I wonder. Yeah, that's interesting.
Even in Disney movies when things like that happen. But it's these two, Over the Moon and the one with the V, really good. And there's a bunch of other ones that we haven't watched yet. It's kind of hard to get our kids to do new movies. They're pretty attached to the ones that they do. But what we do is if there's a new one that we want to watch, we'll put it on before they come in the room. And then when they come in, the movie's already on. You know, they're not going to ask us to change it. It's just already there.
Okay.
So we've got them hooked on a couple of these Netflix animated musicals.
So I can't say my brother, as I'm sure I've said on the pod before, he spent a few months in Japan during the Olympics and did a little bit of going around. And he, all through high school and whatnot, was a Studio Ghibli fan.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find those, I think all of them, I'm not really sure, on HBO Max.
Yeah.
They have a little pulled on. You can find Studio Ghibli. They've got like Howl's Moving Castle is probably the most famous. It's actually one of my wife's favorite movies.
Really?
And, I was friends with the anime kids. I was not an anime kid.
I'm still an anime kid, but I have not watched Studio Ghibli.
I just never was into it. And
some people that, and you know what? A lot of them don't have kids, and I guess that's part of it. But there's some group of people out there who just like won't watch an animated movie. They're like, nah,
not
cartoons.
Not animated. I don't
well,
mind.
I know what you're saying. You anime and animated to roughly different things.
Anime movies are animated.
But like, there's some friends we've told about these Netflix movies, and we're like, no, these are like really good movies. But I guess it's the stigma, like, oh, it's a cartoon, it's meant for kids. You know, like, I just don't like animated movies, and it's like you're cutting yourself off.
Disney had that problem when he made Snow White. Mm-hmm. He couldn't get any funding because it was animated, and they're like, no, dude, cartoons are for kids. We're not going to spend $1 million on a cartoon.
Yes, but kids control their parents' wallets.
Right, that too. Totally.
Yeah.
But no, seriously. So Studio Ghibli, we got, my brother sent sent the girls their little guys. So we have a little Ponyo, which is a goldfish with a human face. It's weird, but it's really kind of a cute movie. And then Totoro. Have you seen My Neighbor Totoro?
No, I know of them. I've seen the artwork, but I haven't watched any of them.
Yeah, so he sent my Charlotte May a little Totoro. It's very, very cute. But those movies are sad. They're so uplifting heavy at the end, but it's like, dude, this is an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, but it's heavy topics, and like kids just don't have the emotional range to contend with the content that we're putting in front of them.
In Totoro, the little sister goes missing. Like, she goes missing. and it's like, guys, and the whole show she's like a latchkey kid, which is great, but she's like 3. You know?
Maybe we'll have to see if we can get like Anna George to come back on and talk about like the psychological damage.
I don't know if it's doing any damage though. I mean, we're much gentler on our kids' psyches than we were, even 100 years ago.
No, I agree with that. But like, just is there any kind of desensitizing going on with these movies that just have really heavy concepts? But then you get into like slightly older stuff, and there was a while where cartoons were really pulling their punches. You know?
Yeah, they were. And it's like, this is boring.
It's like everybody looks back at Boy Meets World, and it's like, that was real TV. They got into real issues.
Sort of.
But then, like, the next series came out. It's like, nah, these are kind of lame.
I saw this TikTok about about Boy Meets World, and it was like one of those I'll go first videos, and it's like, what's something that growing up made you think life would be like whatever? And this guy says, movies about school. I always thought I'd have the same best friends all through elementary school and middle school and high school. I have the same principal who was my neighbor and also my teacher for every class ever, and he was just so supportive. And then, you know, Sean was he lived with one of the teachers, and that teacher was cool. He had a motorcycle, wore a leather jacket.
It's like how much teachers care.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that one.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I definitely saw that one.
But definitely getting yourself those Ghibli movies are.
I'll have to check those out.
They're really good. They're a little bit heavy, but they're like, we got the girls into them, and they really like them. And now, unfortunately, because Totoro is the Ghibli mascot now, so we go to put on another Studio Ghibli movie, and they see Totoro, they go, "Oh, Totoro!" And then that's not what starts, and then we have to go back and watch Totoro. So
then you got to change it.
It's a good movie, so I'm not really complaining, but still.
Yeah, let me bring it all together here, because I have another note in here that I kind of glazed over, and I didn't know if this is where you're going before, but. So speaking of celebrities and parenthood, I think more than anything, seeing celebrities interact as a parent does more like to let me know that these people are just regular folks. Because kids don't care how famous you are.
No, and
no.
I've heard some stories.
I saw this. It was on Instagram, actually, from The Rock. You know, bringing it back to wrestling too, and he's in the car with his daughter, and his daughter's saying, "Row, row, row your boat." And he started recording, and in the caption he says, like, mind you, I started recording after 15 minutes of this. And she just kept going. And he's just like, yeah, good job, baby. Yes, love it. And then he like tried to end it with her, like when he got to the end. And he's like, I even held out the last note to kind of give her the cue that we were done. And she kept going. In his face, you could tell he's just like so over it. But that to me is like, yep, these are real folks. You know, there is no like assistant or no money you can spend to change the nature of a kid.
Man, that is so key. Hi, wifey, you're streaming live on the internet.
She can't hear you.
Yeah, I know, which is pretty funny.
She's writing a note.
She wants to be.
I don't know.
That's funny.
I'll tell her later. She's giving me the note that my daughter's awake.
Oh, well, my daughter's awake too. I can hear her. I don't know which one it is, but somebody's screaming. And I think my wife is asleep.
Sunday afternoon.
Man. Yesterday all I wanted was a nap, but today I got to sleep in, which was good. Barely got to sleep in, but then
that's good.
Yeah, almost had to wake up at 5:30.
I can hear it.
Yep.
Anyway, that's all I got today, man. What do you got? You got anything else?
No, really, dude. I mean, listen, folks out there, thanks for bearing with us. We've had a rough go of it the last few months.
Yeah.
And
we want to get back
it's just
at
been
it.
with them. Connor was moving, and then I've been just tired after work, and it's like when we have the chance to record, it's like I'm just tired today. I just and
Just
we
don't have the energy
haven't
for
had very many chances. So like
Yeah.
I'm ready to record today. Let's record today, and then Connor's not, and then vice versa, and then so hopefully this is where we will continue. We are planning to
We've committed
to put out an episode a week. We will be putting out an episode a week
every
in
Monday,
perpetuity on
Something.
Mondays.
even if it's just one of us.
Something will come out. We'll figure
Every
it out.
Monday. I wrote it in my podcast goals section of my Bujo,
Dude, the Bujo.
my bullet journal. It's in the goals section.
Man. Will it bite you if you step out of the car?
What?
You don't remember Cujo?
Oh, Cujo. No, this is my Bujo.
But no, so maybe we'll get some, if anything comes up, we'll have some shorts that come out. But we will definitely be having something come out every Monday. And
even now, this is like a solid 40 minutes of content, or 30 minutes in John's case.
30, let's go with 30 minutes, considering I missed 5 minutes of recording. So
We'll go back. Maybe we can see and fix it later. But
we got a recording from YouTube, so we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us on the Dad Shoes Podcast, the dad group where you don't have to talk unless you want to, and we want to. We would love to hear your thoughts on today's topic. You can reach out to us on Twitter at DadShoesPod or email us at dadshoespod@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram at DadShoesPod. Look out for new memes, posts, content, all the cool stuff over there.
All the cool stuff.
Yeah. Enjoy your day.
Peace.
Bye.